Hi everybody, and welcome to my video on the Nickel Center Winter Blast hockey photos that are going to be taking place January 25th to the 27th of 2012. If you're watching this video, you've probably received a sheet, something like this, or you've received a link to your email from a coach or manager asking you to check out the video. It's pretty important to check out the video just because it could affect the result of a team ordering photos or not. So even if you're not interested in photos, it might still be a good idea to watch the video through. We tried to make it as short as possible while answering as many questions as we could. One of the important reasons why we wanted to do a detailed video is because there's not going to be anybody on site at the tournament to answer any questions. There's not going to be actually anybody there except for the photographer, which will be busy taking photos, but there's not going to be anybody in the lobby taking orders or anything like that. And by the time I'm done explaining it, it'll be clear why there's nobody there. So the way we do this is a little bit different than some other companies, and what we do is we give entire games on a CD. So we don't photograph individual children, so we actually shoot the entire game as is and then burn the whole thing on a disc. You can also choose to purchase more than one game if you wish, but the games are purchased in their entirety. Alright, let's look at our first point. General overview of what we provide. So how is this different than other places? So what we used to do a few years ago is we used to give out these cell prints. We wouldn't give them out, we would sell them out at the tournament. So we'd bring a printer and computers, and people would, gather up around a TV, and they would look at all the pictures, and they would pick out which ones they wanted, and then we would print them on site, but it would create a huge mess in the lobby. Just way too many people for some of the smaller lobbies. Even with the bigger lobbies, it was very time consuming for everybody to just basically look at everything and pick it out, and then refine their choices, and then finally place their order, and then wait to come pick it up later. At the beginning stages of the tournament, it's not too bad because you can always pick them up the following day or the day after, but especially on the last day, it became very, you would run out of time, or you'd have to wait pretty long after. So we opted not to do this anymore. So now we don't sell any prints. All we do is we sell discs, and with about 350 pictures per game, and you can put multiple games on a disc. Obviously it's more money, but basically if you buy 2 games, we'll send you a disc with 2 games on it. Our process is that the games are prepaid. We send a photographer to take the photos. The images are burnt to disc on the Monday following the tournament. So right after the tournament is done on Sunday, Monday we go back to the lab and we put everything together, we burn it on disc, and then we ship them out usually by Wednesday. We're done putting everything on disc. So about 7 days after, you should receive a disc with all your images. Now, these are not shipped directly to their parents, they are shipped to the coach or the manager that's in charge, that paid us. So we send them the disc, and then from there they can choose to make multiple copies, or you can pass it around to different parents and they can transfer the images to their computer and then send it to another parent. That's entirely up to you which way you want to do it, but we send out the one master copy to the coach, and we keep a copy for ourselves of the files for 30 days in case something would happen and the disc would got lost and nobody had time to copy it. But usually once the disc is copied by 2 or 3 people, even if somebody loses their photos, they can always go back and get the images from somebody else. So that kind of falls into the advantages of our service. One, you get a large amount of photos, 350. So if you order 3 games, you'll get about 1,000 images on a disc, which, if everybody pitches in, it will be less than the cost of one single sheet. I'll break down the math a little bit later. And the price is relatively inexpensive. You're looking at a CD with about, let's say 2 games, $170, 17 players per team, just to make the math easy. That breaks it down to about $10 a player. So that's 700 pictures for 10 bucks. They're not all of the same player, obviously, but there should be a lot of variety and a lot of different shots in there. Definitely more than enough to justify the $10 price tag, which is pretty cheap. The photos can be shared or printed at a photo lab. 20 cents, 25 cents, you can get a 4x6. Definitely cheaper than when we used to be able to print it for you, just because of the ink and the paper and the time and the staff. So we'd rather just give you the files and say, here, go print them out somewhere. That's very different than our portrait studio, but for hockey events like this, we found it to be just much easier for everybody.